Hey guys, what's going on? Uh, what's up? I don't even know where to begin. So much has happened, and it's been so long since we talked. I don't even know where to start. But I do know with my social media accounts and Facebook and a little bit of Instagram and TikTok, I have just truly neglected this page. To be quite honest, I've neglected this page and I've neglected you guys, and I apologize for that. Life just runs so fast. Anyway, so okay, um, there's so much has happened specifically targeted at trans people that I don't even know where to begin. So I'm not even gonna get into that right now. I'm gonna come back and make a video. I can't even promise you when, but I'm gonna try to get better. So I know I say this every time, but I'm trying to get more honest in what I'm talking about. So, or at least know who I am. Because every time I say I'm trying to make a video real soon or I'm trying to make one today, I mean it. But I also know who I am and I know how caught up I get. So I am going to try to make one about the whole thing soon, but this one specifically is about the civil unrest and the protests that have been happening because this is how old this video was supposed to have been. During the first weekend of protest, I got arrested. So, but uh, why that, my daughter painted my nose. While how that kind of intertwines into this channel is because I wanted to talk about passing privilege. Um, I don't like that term. I never have because what you're trans regardless. There's all kinds of reasons that sometimes the outside change doesn't match society standards to be a diplomatic way of saying it. That being said, though, you're trans regardless. However, people put a lot of pressure on this passing. I did, and probably still do, and it's probably part of my privilege that I don't even recognize it anymore. But I went to jail. I got arrested and I went to jail. I didn't have my ID on me at the time, which doesn't really matter because my ID doesn't identify me one way or the other. But they booked me in and fully booked me like they would. My mugshot went up, and it was black male, 44, blah 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 blah. The point of that is a lot of people. I'm sorry, a lot of people, in especially during this protest time, I hear a lot of my brothers want to be out there and want to be on the front lines and want to be really in the street and taking a physical and active part in this. And that being said, their trepidation lies in what happens if I do get arrested. What happens if I do get arrested? Because we all know there's horror stories of transgender people who are put into jail and the things that can happen, or whether they try to help, I guess, by putting them in solitary confinement. And then you put them in solitary confinement, and that is an additional inhumane punishment for what? For society's inability to accept simple, fundamental truths. So, as I was listening to those stories, actually, that's not true. As I was getting booked, I was very cognizant of my privilege, of the privilege of looking like the man I am in this society, or let me stop, looking like society's expectations of a male in this society, and because of that, um, there was no issue other than me being a part of a protest in such times as these. But other than that, the external stress and the danger that could have existed didn't exist for me. And as I was sitting there in that, honestly, to be quite honest, and that's why I'm saying that's how old this video is or was supposed to have been, is as I was sitting in jail, I was very well aware of that, and I not only was I well aware of that, but I was as my son, as my oldest kid. Not only was I well aware of that, but I honestly even thought I need to make a video about this because it was directly related, but between the two. And so, yeah, it was. I understood at the time that it was. I don't know how to describe it. You don't want to say lucky because it shouldn't have to be, right? And it just seems ridiculous. But all in all, the point is, that was not something I was worried about. I was worried about a lot of things when I was in there, but I did not feel like I was in danger. I did not fear for my life. I did not fear. Um, I just didn't fear being in there, and that was due to that privilege, because I know a lot of my trans brothers who that would have been either a hard time or they would have been afraid their entire time in there, and not afraid just because it was jail, but afraid. Uh, of what could happen, from the guards, from other inmates. Um, it's just from the police officers that arrested him. So it was a different kind of thing, and the very first time uh, that privilege has truly. Well, it actually wasn't the first time. It was the first time that it's presented itself in law enforcement. Um, it was not the first time it's presented itself at all the way, because on my walk, when I walked from Des Moines to Tech to Amarillo, um, that was a major player in that. I honestly don't think I would have been able to do it without that privilege. To be quite honest, I don't think that there was a way that I could have walked by myself as a black trans man who didn't fit society's idea of male appearance. I don't think it would have been possible to me. And that's to be quite honest. So not only did privilege play a part in that, privilege was the only way that was possible. So I guess especially in this time when privilege is coming very much to the head or focus, I think it's important to realize what our privilege is, regardless of who we are, and how that plays a part in our life. Because it's not the thing about privilege is it's not something that you do. It's not something that is any way, shape, or form affected by you. And how testosterone affected me, how my physical changes happened, that had nothing to do with me. That had nothing to do with me whatsoever. That had to do with genetics. That had to do with what was already in me. It had absolutely, absolutely nothing to do with anything that me myself did. Therefore, it is a privilege. And that privilege on my account allowed me to do things like walk across the country. That privilege on my account allows me to be on the front lines and not be fearful of going to jail if I need to. So I guess it's just because a lot of people, a lot of people on the channel, if who are still watching when I do post, are from all over the world and all different backgrounds and ethnicities and nationalities, and so having these cross cultural conversations is important. I'm almost at 10 minutes, so I'm gonna go. But I'm gonna come back on here. We're talking more about what's going on in the nation, but thought it was important to bring up that privilege and how it played a part in my life pretty recently. All right, I love you guys. Hit me up. Hit me TikTok. Your friendly neighborhood trans guy. or Pashmo 44.